It is great to be here once again, and I hope everybody is doing great and safe. Today, we'll be looking at networking in AWS, and our specific area of concentration is on VPC peering. VPC peering is a networking connection between two VPCs, which we call virtual private cloud, that enable private direct communication between the two VPCs without traversing the public internet. It is like creating a secure tunnel between two VPCs so that their resources, such as EC2 or RDS database, etc., can talk to each other. It is just a way to create a secure communication between two VPCs, between separate VPCs. This VPC could either be in the same AWS account or in a separate AWS account, as we're going to see. But with the aid of VPC peering, you are able to establish connection between these two VPCs such that the resources in each of the VPCs can communicate between each other without going through the internet. So, and this is very important because you're not going to need VPN, you're not going to need any gateway or hardware. And it could be, like I said, it could be cross account or cross region. And the traffic is entirely within AWS backbone. The use cases for this service could be in a case where you want to isolate an environment. Okay, maybe you have a separate VPC for development, a separate VPC for production, and a separate one for testing. And you want this VPC to talk together, to talk to each other without going through the internet, okay? So that you can still maintain the security. Then you can use VPC peering in this case. You can also use it when you want to share services. You know, you want to share centralized service among your VPCs. Let's assume you have a VPC A that has a resources and you want that resources to be shared between VPC B and C. You don't want to go and recreate such services in B and C. Then you can think of VPC peering. And you can talk about cross-account federation. You can talk about multi-team architecture. And you can also talk about hybrid DNS. So there are so many things you can talk about where VPC peering can be of use cases. So if you look at the architecture in diagram on the screen, you can see we have an AWS account. This is this AWS account here. We have one AWS account here, and we have another one. Okay, let me just put this here. It doesn't really matter. And we have another one here too. Okay. Now, in this AWS account, in this one, we have two different VPCs. This is a VPC A, if you see it here, and this is a VPC B. Inside VPC B, inside VPC A, we have the subnets. Okay, we have each subnet, and we have an EC2 machine that is, we have EC2 machine that are what hosted in these VPCs. Then we have internet gateway to provide internet so that we'll be able to access a web server. And in the second account, we have another VPC here. We have also EC2. So what we want to achieve in this implementation is to see how this VPC can talk to this VPC. Okay, we want to see how this VPC can talk to this VPC without going through the internet. We don't want them to go through the internet, but we want this VPC to communicate with this VPC. We also want this VPC here to communicate with this VPC in other separate account. And at the same time, we want VPC EC2A to also communicate with EC2C. This is our EC2 in VPC A, we have another EC2 in VPC B, and we have another EC2 in VPC C. We want them to continue to communicate. Now, so what we are going to do is we are going to establish what they call VPC peering. Okay, we are going to establish it between A to B, and we are going to establish between B to C. Okay, let me try. I'm trying to clean up and so that I can better explain what I'm trying to do. Okay, so for us to establish this communication, we are going to create what they call VPC peering, and that is what we see here. So first, we are going to establish VPC peering because we want this EC2A to talk to EC2B. Then we are going to create a VPC peering between A and B, and that is the one we have here, label 1. Then for EC2B to communicate to EC2C, we also need to establish another VPC peering, which we have seen here. Now, one thing about VPC peering is that it is non-transitive. That is, it can't, if you join A to C, for example, this is C. Now I have joined A to B and I have joined B to C. But there is no any link between A and C. So in VPC peering, it is not allowed. A cannot talk to C. So for A to talk to C, we also need to what? Establish a VPC peering between A and C, and that is the one here. So now we are going to go on to this implementation and see how these things works. So if we see the number of VPC that we have is equal to the number of peering that we are going to have. Now we have 3 VPC here. We have 3 peerings. So this problem is the downside of VPC peering. And so we are going to see in subsequent video the AWS service that solves this problem. That one is called Transit Gateway. We are going to be looking at it. But today, let us look at VPC peering. So we are going to jump on our AWS and we are going to create all these resources. So the first thing is we are going to create the VPC A. We're going to create the subnet for A. We're going to create the internet gateway for A. And we're going to do that across for B and for C. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the 2 different accounts we're going to be using. And I'm going to create for A. And in order not to bore you, then I will pause the video and create for B and C, and then we can go from there. So now we're going to be using these 2 accounts. The first account here is this account with this profile, with the green profile. You can see it at the top. The one that ends in 1107. That is our one account. And we are going to be using the second account with the red profile, and that will be the second account. So we are going to also create a VPC in this account. So the first thing now is let us go ahead and create. Let me remove this. So we're going to go ahead now and create a VPC for A. So I have VPC already in the top corner here, or you can just come here if you don't have it in your own and type VPC, and you go ahead and select VPC. So when you select VPC, you click on your VPC. Okay, click on your VPC, and I'm going to create a VPC now. I'm going to call this one VPC A. VPC A. Okay, and I'm going to choose the CIDR range. We are going to be going with the CIDR block that we put here. This one is 11.0.0. This one is 12, and this one is 13. So we're just going to stick with those one. So here now I'm going to put 11.0.0.0/16. Okay, and that is it. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to leave everything as it is, and I will go ahead and create. So now we have created our VPC, which is VPC A here. So the next thing to do now is to create internet gateway. So I'll click on internet gateway here. I will click on create internet gateway. I will call it internet gateway VPC A, or I want us to just call it internet gateway A, okay, which is for VPC A. So that is all. We click on create. Now, when you create internet gateway, you need to attach it to a VPC. And here, if you look at this green bar here, it's already giving you an option, attach to a VPC. So I'll click on VPC, and then I will attach to VPC, and I'll click attach internet gateway. Okay. After that, I will go and create my subnet. I'll click on subnet. I'll click on create subnet. In which subnet do you want to create the VPC? I will select our VPC A. And what is the name of my subnet? I'll just call it subnet A. Okay. And I'm going to choose a CIDR ring. It has to be inside this CIDR block. So I'll just call it 11.0.1.0/24. And that is it. And I will go ahead and click on create subnet. Now I've created my subnet. Okay. And then next thing we have to go and do now is to create a route table, because we need to direct a traffic. We need to let our network know how traffic is going to be directed, how traffic are going to be routed. So click on route table, click on create route table, and I'm going to call it VPC A route table. VPC A route table. Okay. And what is that VPC? VPC A. I'll select it and I will click on create route table. Now we need to tell our route table, our network, how to route the traffic. So before we do that, we need to connect this subnet to a VPC. So, and that takes us to what we call subnet association. You click on subnet association and you go on edit subnet association, and it's already showing you the subnet here. You select it and you click on save. So if you see now, the subnet has been what? Associated. So now we are now in our route table. We need to add route. So we click on edit route and we say add route. And now the route we want to add now is we are saying that any network, any traffic that is coming from anywhere should be directed to the internet gateway. And what is the internet gateway? We have just created internet gateway A. We'll select it and we will create save routes. Now we have completed our creation of VPC for VPC A. So what we are going to go now, what we're going to do now, we are going to go ahead and create our EC2 machine in VPC A. So I will go to my EC2 and I'm going to create an EC2 machine in the VPC that we have just created. So I will click on EC2 running instance. I'll click on launch instance and I will just call it server A, okay, because it's in VPC A, and I'm going to go with Ubuntu. I'll go with 24.0 LTS and I'll just keep it as T2 micro. I'm going to select a key pair. Okay. Okay, we don't have a key pair here, so we can create one. So let's say create a key pair. That key pair is going to be downloaded somewhere. Let's just create a PEM key. Let's give it a name. Key pair A. Okay, key pair A, and we'll just go and call it create key pair. So you can see that the key pair has been created and it's downloaded here. So let's just leave it. So, and it's already been picked over here. So now we are in the network section now. So I will click on edit and it's saying which VPC do we want? We want it to be in our VPC A. Of course, we already have our subnet A selected, and then automatic assign of IP address. Yes, I want my machine to have public IP address. So, and this is our security group here. Do we have any security group? No. So let's create security group. We already have one here that's been created for us. So let's change the name to VPC A security group SG. Okay, VPC A SG, and then we already have SSH port assigned for us, so we are going to add another one. Because I want us to test web server, let us go for HTTP. Let's go for HTTP, and it should be from anywhere. Also, I want to be able to ping my machine, so I'm going to add the ping protocol, and that will be ICMP for IP file, and it should be from anywhere. So we have these three ports now: HTTP, we have SSH, HTTP, and ICMP, and we'll just leave this as 8 gig. Now, I want us to use a web server to be able to access a web server in this on this EC2 machine. So I'm going to go ahead, and I want us to install the web server at the same time as when we are creating it. And one thing you can do here is to use what we call user data. You're going to put a script here, and that script will be installed along with the creation of the EC2 machine. So I have one script here. I think let me see if I can get it. I have it in my notepad here. So I'll just go and copy it, and then I have it here. I'll just paste it. And what is it doing? It's going to, it's just, oh no, that is not it. This is for another one. Okay. It's just the same thing, but in a different one. So now it will update my machine. It will, it will install Apache. It will start it, and when we call it, it's going to tell us hello from this server. So we let us know from server A whenever we are, when we are testing it. That is the testing page. So we'll go ahead now and launch our instance. So now we have completed the creation of our VPC A with all the necessary services, the subnet, the route table, the internet gateway, and the EC2 machine. So I'm going to be doing the same thing for VPC B and VPC C. Yeah, I wouldn't want to bore you with that. So I'm just going to pause this video, and I'm going to create the other VPC B and C. And when that is done, we will come back and continue our demonstration. So see you. So welcome back. Now I've created the several other VPC needed in the other region, and I'll quickly show you before we continue. Now, this is what we did before. The first one we created was in the US East 2 region, the Ohio region. If you look at it over here, our region is in Ohio, and we have our server A running there. And if you look at that server, we have our VPC, okay? We have our VPC as well. If I click here, we have our VPC A running there. We have our subnet A. We have our route table A, and we have our internet gateway A. The same thing happened. I went to US East 2. That's a different region. US East 1, I mean. And I have the same thing. I have my internet gateway B. I have my route table B. I have my subnet. Where is that? Subnet B. Here is it. And I have my VPC B. Then I went over to a separate account. So the first two here, VPC A and VPC B, are in the same account but different region. Then I went over to my third account here, and I created a server C inside a VPC. Here is it. Inside a VPC C. I'll click here. This here, VPC C, and I have my subnet C. I have my route table C, and I have my internet gateway C. And all of this has been, connected and the traffic has been routed appropriately. And one more thing that I did was I went onto AI to give me a web server welcome page so that I can run different web server in different of the EC2. So in the first one, I install Apache and I expect it to give me this welcome statement or welcome text. And the other one, I install a Python HTTP server, and in other one I install Nginx. Okay, so those things I expect that they will give me. So this one's going to say hello from VPC B, this one will say hello from VPC A, and this one will say hello from VPC C, if everything works well. So now that we have all these things, now let's go back to our diagram. Now that means we have created, so that means we have created what? We have created our subnet. Don't let me make it clumsy. We have created our subnet, sorry, our VPC. We've created subnet. We've created our EC2, internet gateway, and route table for each of them. Okay. So the next thing to do now is we have to go and create the VPC peering. So we are going to create VPC peering for A, VPC peering for B, and VPC peering for C. Okay. Now, if we do that, then we'll come back. So we'll head over to our EC2 console. I will go back. I will be in Ohio region now. In the VPC tab, if you scroll down, you will see under virtual network. Just scroll down. You will see VPC peering. Under VPC, I'm looking for VPC. VPC. Just a minute. Where is it? Okay, look at it right here. VPC peering connection. So you click on peering connection, you click on create peering connection, and I'm going to give it a name. I'll call it peering A to B. Okay, I'll just call it peering from A to B. Then to what VPC? Which local VPC? You can see it is very important. The local VPC, that's the VPC to which you want to attach it, which is our VPC C, because that is where I'm in VPC C. Okay, please let's get it correctly. This is VPC. This is, let me see what VPC I created here. Just a minute, please, so that we should get it right. Oh, so this is VPC C. This is where we have VPC C. So I'm creating peering C. So I will go back, create peering. I will call it peering. Let me just call it peering C for ease. And I've selected VPC C. And you can see it's associated with the CIDR of C. Of course, if you go back here, you can see that C has this CIDR. Okay. C has 13. You can see it 13.0.0. That's what it has. So that has picked it. Now, and it's asking me, select another VPC to pair with. Get it right now. Select another VPC to pair with. Now, I want you to understand this thing very well. Now, we are creating peering, and we said that we need 3 peering. We need a peering from A to B. We need a peering, which is this one. We need a peering from B to C, and we need a peering from A to C. Now, you can either A to C or C to A. They are both the same. Okay, so each one can make the request, because whenever you are creating a VPC peering, there's something we call the requester VPC and the acceptor VPC. So one VPC will request and the other one will accept. So you can choose whichever way. But I want to do it in such a way that since I have created A to B and I've created B to C, so I want to create C to A. You understand it? So that we will not be having two from A. It is not a problem. We can do that, but I just want us to, to be more, circumspect. So let me explain once again what we are going to be doing. So we're going to do VPC pairing A to B, and we'll do B to C, and we'll do C to A. So we are inside C at the moment. We are inside C. So we are going to be creating it to what? To A. And if this will be better, we can go and start from account A. Maybe that will be better. Let's go back to our account A. So this is our account A. Account A is in the Ohio region. So let's go to our VPC A is in the Ohio region. So let's go to VPC A. Maybe that will make it easier. So this is VPC A. So we are going to be creating peering to what? To B. So I'll click on connection, peering connection. I'll click on create connection, and I'll call it peering from A to B. Okay. And watch VPC now. That is the VPC, local VPC. You can see it's very important. You see mention it, local VPC. And it's asking this the another VPC. Select the other VPC that you want to pair with. So I want to pair with VPC B. It's asking me, is VPC B in this account? Yes. VPC B is in this account, but it's in different region. So I'm going to keep it as in my account. And the region, is the region different? Yes, in another region. And what region is that? US East 1. Don't forget that is where our VPC B is. And it's asking me what is the VPC ID of that region. Now let's go to A. So I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to open this in another tab. Okay, let me just open VPC in another tab. Okay, and I'm going to navigate to where B is. I'm going to navigate to where B is. B is in the Ohio, North US East 1. And if you click on it now, you will see this is our VPC B. So it's asking for this ID, the VPC ID of VPC B. And I will head back to, so just watch something. When I paste it, okay, I've pasted the VPC of now of VPC ID, which is the acceptor. So you can see from here, VPC ID requester, that is VPC of A, and VPC ID of acceptor. So it is B that will accept. The request is coming from A. So let's click on create pairing, and you see something now. You can see the pairing has been creating, but look at it. It said what? A VPC pairing connection. This has been requested. Remember to change the region to accept the pairing. You can see it. Remember to change your region to accept. So I need to go back to the region A, region B now, and accept that request. We need to go to region B and accept the request. So let's head over to region B, which is northeast. Look at it here. So I'm going to refresh. Okay. And what we're going to do from here, we'll see. So we'll head over to VPC pairing. We are now in account B. You can see it, VPC B. You will now go over to what? Pairing connection. Look at it. Pairing connection. You click on it. And you can see now it says what? Pending acceptance. Let me select it. What? Pending acceptance, because the VPC A has sent the request to B. So B need to accept it. So we'll select it. You click on action and you click what? Accept request, and we accept. So now request has been accepted. So it's provisioning now. So after that, it will establish connection between VPC A and VPC B. Now let's complete all the creation of the pairing. So I'm now in B now. I want to create connection to what? C. So I'll click on pairing connection. I will click on create pairing connection, and I'll call this one pairing from B to C. And which VPC here? Which VPC is requesting? VPC B is requesting. and it's asking, is it in this account? No. C is not in this account. C is in the separate account. So I will select it, another account. And it's going to ask us, what is the ID of that account? We'll go back here and copy. This is account ID. We'll copy it. Account ID of where C is. Don't forget, this is where VPC C is. So we'll copy that and we'll head over to B. We'll paste it. And it's asking, is it the same region? Let us go and check. This one is in East region. You can see it's in US East region. But in the, I can see it's in Ohio. Look at it here. It's in Ohio. So it's not in the same region. So we have to let them know that no, it is not in the same region. So another region. So it's asking, what is the region? It is Ohio region. And what is the VPC ID? I'll head over there and copy the VPC ID. So I'll come back here, go to VPC. This is the ID here. I'll copy it and I'll head over and paste it here. Okay, and I will go on what? So I've just put the VPC ID from the VPC in the other account and I will click on create peering connection. Let us see. Now you can see now it said the pairing has been created. So we have to now go to C. You know, we initiated it. You can see we initiated pairing from B to C. So I'll go to, I can see now VPC C. This VPC C, I will accept it. So I will click on peering connection in C, and you can see it's already pending. So accept it, and we'll accept the request. Now we have created connection appearing or connection between B and C. Now let us create between C to A. Now we are in C. If you look at it, this is VPC C here. Don't forget, this is VPC C here. So we click on peering connection. We click on create peering, and I will call it peering from C to A. And what is the local VPC is VPC C. Is it the same account? No, it is another account. What is the account of VPC A? This is account of VPC A. I'll copy the ID and go back here and put it. That is the account. And it's saying in the same region. Let us see. VPC C is in United States, Ohio. Let us see where A is. A is in, I think A is in Ohio too. Yeah. A is also in, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Yeah. A is also in Ohio. Okay, you can see it. VPC A is also in Ohio. So, but either way, we are going to need the ID. So let's just copy the ID all at once. And we'll go back here. So it says it's in the same region. US is 2. Yes. What is the VPC ID? We'll put the VPC ID here. And I think we are good. We'll go over and create. So now this one has also create. So we'll go to VPC A now. You can see it's peering from C to A. We'll go to A now and accept it. So we'll come here, peering connection, and you can see it's already pending. We'll click action and accept peering. Now we have created the connection. We should go back to our diagram here. We have created connection between, okay. We have created connection between A to B. We have created B to C, and we have created C to A. Now we now need to tell our network how to route the traffic. That is very important. We need to tell them how to route the traffic. But before we do that, let us quickly check if we can access or we can communicate. So let me go to my EC2 machine. This is my EC2 machine. Let us see if they are all running. This is EC2 machine here. This is for server A. Let us copy the public IP of server A. Let us check if there's anything there. Server A on port 80, I think, if it's working. Okay, you can see, if you look at it here, you can see it says hello from VPC A, Apache server. Okay, let's go to VPC B. VPC B is in North Virginia. And let us copy the IP. Let us see, maybe that one works too. If it doesn't work, that doesn't matter. We'll be able to ping. I'll copy the IP. I will head over here to, I'll paste it on port 80. And let us see what we have. Okay, this one also works. And they say, you can see, hello from VPC B, Nginx. This one says, hello from VPC A, Ubuntu. And let us see the last one. That one is in VPC C. Let's go to our EC2 in VPC C, and then we will copy the IP as usual. This is the public IP. We'll copy it. We can just open it here. Okay, we can come back here. That's fine. We can do here to paste at on port 80. Let's click enter. Maybe that one works. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, that's okay. Okay, it also works. And it says hello from VPC Python HB server. So all our servers are actually working. So that means if we connect into each of these server, we should be able to, communicate to each of them. Okay. So I'm going to be using Instant Connect. Okay. I don't want us to go through terminal to just make it easy. So in each of the VPC, I will try to connect. So this is my VPC B. Let us try to connect. I'll just click here, connect from here, and I will scroll down. I want to use Instant Connect, and I'll click connect. So this is VPC A. I want us to see. Okay, yeah, we are in VPC A. I'm going to clear. Okay, if I say, oh, this is VPC A. So let's check the host name. I think this should host name. Okay, so it's giving us, this is the IP. This is the IP of VPC A. Now let's go to VPC B. So I'll switch over to Ohio. Okay, what I have before is VPC B. So this is VPC A. I'm in Ohio now. I will go to my server A, and I will click on connect. I will use Instant Connect. I will also connect here. Okay, and that will come up. Okay, and I'll also clear it. You can see from the bottom here, server A. Okay, and let us check the host name. Host name will just give us the private IP. Let me zoom in and zoom out so that we can all see it. So this is the server A, and this is server A. This is server B. Let me also zoom out. And server C. Let's go to C. This is server C here, and we can also connect. Click on connect. Okay, so this is server C. I will clear it, and I will zoom out a little bit, and also type the host name, and this is server C. So if I call each of the server, they should be able to reply those greeting messages from the web server. So now, let me copy the IP of server C. I need to show you where we got this. If I click on, look at it. Okay, so this is the private IP of server C. So that's what I'm going to be calling. Don't forget, this is my server C. This one is too big. Let me go down a little bit. This is my server C, okay? And this is the private IP. So if it works, I must be able to call the IP of the web page from other. So I'm going to copy the private IP of server C now. Don't forget, server C cannot go through the internet. So the private IP cannot go through the internet. So I'll head over to, this is server B. Let me call server C. Okay. I want to call server C. I will paste. You can see it. Nothing is happening. Okay. So I'm calling server C from server B now. Also, let me call server C from A. Nothing is also happening because the connection has not been established. We have only established the connection. We have not shown the route. Also, let me go to my, which server is this? This is server A. Let me copy the public IP of server A. And let me go to C. Let me go to C. And let me call C. Call that of A. Nothing is coming on. So now, what we need to do now, we need to establish the route to tell the network which way to turn the traffic. So let's start from A. So I'm going to go back to our VPC. I will go to my server VPC A. That is the first one I want to deal with. And I will go to route table. Click on route table. This is the route table here. Okay, I will click on route table. And I will go to route. And I want to edit route now. I'll click on edit route. Let me make it a little bit bigger. I'll click on edit route. So, and I'm going to add route. And I will say any traffic that is directed to, I want to say that traffic that is coming from A. This is, you can see this is A, 11.0.0.0. Our B is 12.0.0. If you come back here, you see it. This is B. Okay, this is B here, and this is C here. So you just put it in your head so that we don't have to go forth and back. A is 11.0.0. So I want to say that any traffic that is coming from 12.0.0.0/16, which is that of B, direct it to the peering. Direct it to what? To the peering connection. And select that peering connection. We have two. So it's peering connection from A to B. You can see it here. Peering connection from A to B. That is what you should send it to because this is A to B. And I put it. Do you understand what I'm doing now? I'm saying any traffic coming from B. Notice our B. Then transfer it to this. And I'm going to add another route again. Anyone coming from C, 13.0.0.0/16. That is any traffic coming from C, forward it to peering. Which peering? The peering that I've connected between A and C. So I'll save change. Then I'll head over to my B and do the same. I'll head over to B. B is in North Virginia. I will click on my VPC. I'll click on my VPC. And go to this. I'm in B now. I will go to route table. And I will edit. I'll go to route. And I will edit route. Let me zoom out a little. I will edit route. And I will say, I'm in B now. I will add route and I'll say anyone coming from A. A is 11.0.0.0/16. Anyone coming from from A, direct it to peering, and that peering will be what? From, look at it, the connection between A, don't forget I'm between A and B now. The connection between A and B. And if anyone is coming from C, which is 13.0.0.0/16, direct it to the peering between B and C. Correct. So don't forget this is B and C, then I'll add it. And I'll head over to C. And I'll head over to my VPC C now, and I'll do the same. I will go to, let me zoom out. I'll go to VPC. Where is it? VPC. And I will go to route table, and I will edit route. Look at it. This is route, and I will edit route. I'm in C now, and I will say anyone coming from A, 11.0.0.0/16, direct it to the peering. And what is the peering? The peering between B and C was the one that was we initiated C to A. And I will add again that if anyone is coming from B, which is 12.0.0.0/16, send it to the peering, and that peering is the one that was being accepted. I will save the change. Now let's go back to our instances. So if I go back to my instance here now, you can see before it failed to connect. Okay, let me zoom it. The one we sent before failed to connect. Now let me clear it. Let me clear the screen, and I will run the command again. If I run the command again, you can see now it's returning a call from C. I'm in server A. You can see below here I'm in server A, and I've called the IP address, private IP address of C, and it returns the server information from C. And don't forget, that is what we got again from C when we came here. So if I go back to now, if you see this is, I'm in server B now. Look at it underneath here, I'm in server B, and I'll call the host name of server C. Before the update of the route table, it failed. I will clear the screen, and I will run the command again. You can see now it's returning call from C. I'm going to head over to C. I'm going to head over to C. And you can see before now it failed. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to clear the screen. And I'm going to call the IP address of A. You can see now from A to C, from C to A. Now let me call that of B. I'll call the IP address of B. Let me go and get the IP address of B. If I go to IP address of B, where's my server B? I'll come back here. I'll go to my EC2. I'll click on running, and where's my server? Let me zoom out a little bit. This is the in the north. Where do I have it? I think it's where. Sorry, it's because of this zoom. Okay, this is server B. So I will click on server B, and I will copy the public IP of server B, and I'll head over to C, and I will call the IP of C. Let us see. And you can see now it's returning our web server information from B. You can also decide to try ping. If I ping B, what do we have? And you can see it's responding. Okay, it's responding. Let me stop it. If I go to A, and I ping the IP address of C ping. Let me just return 6 pings. And you can see it's returning, it's responding correctly. So in this demonstration, we have been able to create a connection between 3 VPCs, and we are able to communicate within them without going through the internet. You can see we are using the private IP of those machines to communicate between them. And that is what VPC peering will help us to achieve. The only downside here is that imagine you're having the fourth VPC. That means you have to create the fourth pairing. Okay, but we are going to see how to address this problem in our subsequent video, where we are going to create what we call transit gateway, such that instead of creating this multiple pairing, we'll be having just one transit gateway. Okay, we'll be having one transit gateway, and every other VPC will just connect to it. Okay, every other VPC will connect to it. We are going to be doing that in our subsequent video. I hope you have learned one or two things in this video, and I hope you will like it. I please greatly implore you to please, if you like this video, do comment and subscribe to this channel, as this will help us greatly, and it will also enable us to reach as many audience as possible. So in the next video, like I said, we are going to see the AWS service that solve this problem, the downside of creating multiple connection in peering, and we'll see how we can resolve that. And there you understand that peering is good and awesome for maybe 2 or 3 VPCs. Whenever it is more than 2 or 3 VPC, then peering is no longer it's no longer efficient. And in that case, we might have to use what we call transit gateway. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. And please, before you go, make sure you clean up and tear down all of your resources so that you don't have to incur a lot of cost, because Internet Gateway and VPC are chargeable. And if you leave it, you're going to incur a lot of cost. So please make sure you remove it from your AWS environment. Bye for now, and peace.